You're now listening to No Gimmicks.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. You know what it is. It is Thursday, which means we're talking MPX tonight, and we have the final card before we get to Destiny this Saturday, Eve of Destruction, appropriately named. And since it is the Eve of Destruction, we had to bring in a guest that is famous for destruction here to the No Gimmicks podcast. And listen, if you've paid attention to this show, you've known that we've been saying some things about this guy leading up to this show, but I'm nervously happy that he's here because we get to pick his brain a little bit. That is the one, the only, the Texas Chainsaw, Sky Della Cremosa. Sir, welcome to the show. And first of all, you have Texas Chainsaw under your name. Are we back? Is the Texas Chainsaw back?
Did the Texas Chainsaw ever leave?
Well, for a minute there, and listen, this is just what I've been observing. For a minute there, it was the law.
Law or not, never means the Texas Chainsaw went anywhere. But maybe he was put away from everybody. Maybe he was held down and shackled, not by the referees, not by MPX, maybe by the addicts, to the point where he just gave up on it. And then he feels something, and then everything breaks. So you tell me, have you seen the Texas Chainsaw back?
Well, hold on. I'm gonna get this to my co-host JJ. Welcome back.
JJ, you're here. I thought you were gonna run.
I am here only because of the fact there's been a lot of chatter amongst the MPX addicts that you weren't going to be here, but we're glad to have you. My first question I have for you, since we're talking about break, did we see the Texas Chainsaw really come back following that breaking the law match back at the Texas Rumble at the beginning of this year? Because that's where I think I saw the chain. But could I be wrong? Am I in the ballpark?
I mean, there was that, and then there was frustration, there was problems, and then Red Chambers decided that he was just going to smash me over the head with a steel chair, bust me open. And we all know how I feel about blood. How do you think I feel about my own blood?
No, it's been a while since you've seen your own blood, too.
Exactly. And that's the problem, because Red Chambers and the addicts think that all I'm used for is blood, when there's more than that. There is violence. Violence doesn't have to include the blood. Violence is the suffering of every single person who steps in the ring with me. I think I showed that last week.
Yes, that is true. And it's funny that you touched on violence and the whole persona of this show, Eve of Destruction. I guess my next question I have for you, to kind of help bring some of the addicts up to speed in case they weren't aware of who you are and what you're capable of. We know Destiny is next week and it's at the Epic. You, sir, are no stranger to the Epic. So, very speaking, the last time you were there, the Purge, you were in the Epic death match with the Carver.
Exactly.
What are your takeaways from that match, and what are you looking forward to for next week with your street fight against Red?
Well, let's go back to the Purge. That was a match I'd asked for months and months and years. Somebody who I felt understood me, someone who I felt knew exactly where I came from in the Carver, and Carver proved that he did understand that he was of the same mindset that I was. The amount of violence that was shown that night. We had syringes, we had light tubes. He waterboarded me with Windex. That was all in one singular match. So, what do you think is capable of happening at Destiny, at the Epic, when you give me a match such as a street fight? What do you think, JJ?
All I can say is, because I'm gonna tread very carefully here. I'm glad the police station is right next door to the building, because in case anything happens, in case anybody needs some medical emergency, at least they're right down the street. And I don't know who's gonna need it more, Paulie P or Red Chambers, because Paulie is the special guest referee, and we've seen some frustration, if you will, on Paulie P TV between not just you and Red, but also it seems you and Paulie.
Paulie wants to cause problems. Paulie wants to run his mouth. He wants to stir the pot a little bit with this Paulie PTV. Now he wants to get involved as a referee. Like, what does he think he's going to do? When was the last time we saw Paulie P wrestle? To go with that.
Oh, that was some years.
It's been a little bit. Paulie thinks he's ready for what's coming. He knows me very well. I'll pull back the curtain just a little bit. Paulie P's wrestling career started with me. Paulie knows exactly what he's getting into, but I don't think he understands the extent of how far it's going to end up going. And am I saying I'm going to attack Paulie P? Absolutely not. But you're that close to the violence that I plan on inflicting on Red Chambers. There's a bit of a splash zone, if you will.
Right. That's all good points. Kelvin, you got anything?
I will say what I'm hearing from you, Sky, I have been wanting to hear for a while, honestly.
Do you? Do you really?
Yes, actually.
You're telling me that you were prepared for the violence, for the brutality, for the suffering of every single MPX superstar. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be anybody. Dwayne Cavens found that out.
He did.
What happens when it's somebody else that you like?
As much as I hate seeing it, Sky, it's you. That's who you are. I as much as I hate seeing it happen to people I care about and people I like and people who I like to cheer for, that's you. That's the collateral damage. As a fan, I understand that. Sky being Sky is collateral damage to whoever's in Sky's way. I like this.
That's a shame for everyone, because at one point there will be a time that there will only be Sky.
That's a bar.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. And I guess so. Let's go back to the Addicts, because we were touching on the Addicts. Next Saturday, street fight for the Addicts title, and the Addicts have very vocally let it be known they're in the corner behind Red Chambers, which at one point in time, Sky, the Addicts were behind you, but not so much now. What are your thoughts about the MPX Addicts going into this match?
I touched on it a little bit with the Paulie P TV. The problem is the Addicts seem to be a little wishy-washy, a little flaky when it comes to people. Once something doesn't go their way, they just drop them. And that's the issue. Because I think the word addict fits perfectly. They're only content when they get exactly what they want, what they need. But the problem is now I feel like they need something else, whether they think they need it or not. And I think they need me. So as far as the Addicts go, when that belt comes to me, they'll get exactly what they need.
And what is that?
Me. The violence. That's all they need.
You know, Sky, as an MPX addict, I gotta say, it's not necessarily wishy-washy. The MPX addicts felt like you turned your back on them and sided with the referees. And you stopped being exactly what the fans loved. But you're finding your way back. And I think for a lot of the MPX addicts, it's kind of too little, too late.
Too little, too late. You're going to have to wait till Destiny to see exactly how too little things are.
Wow.
Because now, Red Chambers has to go through me. And I know we talked, oh, I've beat you in all these hardcore matches. I've beat you in all these death matches. Every single one of those, Red Chambers had help. Remember that?
Not a false statement.
We remember that. Do you remember the last time that we stepped in the ring? He was blinded by House Sagan.
Remember that.
Red Chambers can say, king of the death matches, king of hardcore, better than Sky in all of this. But when it's one-on-one, we'll see how it goes.
So you're already predicting and knew.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not just me saying that. I have another little in my ear telling me exactly how things are going to go. I'm surprised, honestly, that neither one of you have asked about it, seeing how I've heard it from Cody Cox. I've heard it from Tyler Foster. I have heard it from fans.
Oh, it was on the brain.
Yeah, I was gonna save it to the end, but I guess since we're on the topic, what's in the box?
In the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? Okay, here's the thing. See, this is my problem with the addicts. They go, what's in the box? Like, they don't already know. You should know exactly what is in the box, because there's only one thing that keeps Skylacrimosa sane. But I don't think you deserve to see what's in the box. I was so close. I was this close to letting everyone see exactly what was in the box against Cavens. But then I realized, why open the box when I could just use the box? And it went smack dab across his face. Oh, that felt good. That felt really good.
Yeah, it was hard, honestly, sitting front row that night and watching the smile on your face that happened as soon as that box made contact with Delin. So I can only imagine how you're gonna feel making contact with Red Chambers with either the box and or with what's inside of the box.
Exactly. See, you get those little bitty glimpses into the mind, and that's the problem. They're just the smallest little glimpses, because I think if you got any more of an idea, you would go insane.
I can't lie to you. Just hearing the surface it's kind of nerve-wracking. I don't want to dive any deeper.
Fair. That's absolutely fair. JJ?
I think I've pretty much asked everything that needed to be asked. The only thing that I will say, because we're here, why not? You've already predicted and knew. So, hypothetically speaking, because of your relationship with the addicts, could you possibly change the name of said title?
Oh, no, I will leave it as the addicts title, because it proves it proves exactly what everyone is. Somebody who can't live without it. Right? That is an act. And when I have that belt, you will understand that you are stuck with me, whether you want to be or not. It is something that will poison you. And yet, there you are every single week, wanting to see more, wanting more and more and more. So no, not changing the name whatsoever.
I'm not mad at it. I respect it.
I'm not mad, but that also brings up a question. Are you out to get rid of every addict's favorite? Because the addicts
maybe.
The addicts have favorites. So do you have a list of people once you have this title that you have your sights set on? That's the question.
Everyone in the locker room. In one shape, way, or form, some addict feels like one wrestler is their favorite, why would I not go after every single one of them? And why would I take and let one singular wrestler walk out of there? Like I said, at some point in time, there will only be Sky. When everyone has been destroyed, the addicts are left with the only thing that they think they need.
We have a good question here from Kim. Kim, what's up? Welcome to the chat. She says, when you win, what kind of matches would you like to defend it in? That's actually a good question.
Any match I can make someone suffer in. And here's the fun part about that. That's any match. You give me a match with no rules, like Destiny. What happens? Someone suffers. You give me a one-on-one contest, all the rules in place. Someone still suffers. Dylan Cavins did not walk out on his own, did he?
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a valid point.
Even before the box was involved, he was barely standing on his own 2 feet. So it doesn't matter what kind of match. Every match that you give me, someone is going to suffer.
I'm glad you said that because it also just jogged my memory from last week. And Red, if you're watching this, I'm sorry in advance. But after the match, when Red came down to try to, save Dylan, you ended up putting Red through a door, and Red also needed assistance out of the ring. So you're not wrong in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Yep.
That's the thing, right? Red said he claims he's a person of the addicts, and yet when they needed him most to help save Cavins, what happened? He was put down, just like Cavins was. In fact, if he would have stayed in the back, nothing would have happened to him. But instead, he came out, tried to play hero. It was put down. What does that say for Saturday? What does that say for Destiny?
That says everybody's in trouble.
Exactly. Exactly.
But here's why the addicts? Do you feel the addicts? You never outright said it, but do you feel the addicts turned their back on you?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. I was trying to help save MPX. We had a very rampant problem. Every referee was getting attacked. Rick Savage put Cedric in the hospital. They needed help. So I was trying to save something that I felt like was home to me. And then all of a sudden everyone hated me for it. Just like that. Just a snap of the fingers. Everybody hated me for it. All I heard was boos. All I heard was you sold out. And yet here I was trying to help people. And I think that was another reason that the cracks started to form, was because the trust that I had been broken before the law was broken. And then once the law was broken, it's all me now.
That's a bar.
That is a bar. But let me go back, because you brought up Brick Savage and what he was doing to the referees. My memory serves me correct. The referees got together and they did what they did to Brick Savage. And you felt like you had to help them in that quest, right?
Have you seen Brick Savage? Do you think he had a chance against Brick Savage? Be honest.
They didn't, but also they have made up since then.
So, but they found the biggest threat they could to Brick Savage. Like this is the thing. The only way they're going to have any kind of success in this is to get somebody just as violent, just as crazy. So they came to me.
So you feel like that puts you on a path of no return with the MPX addicts?
Once they turn their back on me, correct.
So is there? I won't ask that question because I know the answer.
Go ahead, ask away.
Is there a scenario in which the addicts can get your trust again?
At this point, probably not.
That's why I said is
They
I
prove
knew the answer to that question.
they prove their point week after week. Between the turning of the back, the fact that we're supposed to be fans, and yet we have the exact same chant for every person. Every cadence is exactly the same. Sit back and watch a show. Listen to it. It's the exact same cadence for everything. Not an original thought.
Oh, damn.
We get past that. We get to because at one point, there was a chant every week that Sky was going to kill you. And then you had your cave-ins, and you had all these different, like, grow up, hey, yo, all that. But everything has become monotone. So not only do I feel like they turn their back on me, it feels like they may be slowly turning their back on everyone.
Wow, this whole interview is giving very Thanos vibes, and
Bro, it's like
I'm
he's
here
holding
for
up
it.
a mirror to the MPX addicts. That's crazy.
Yeah, now it's making me question something. God bless it.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Because it's true.
One of those
It's
things.
very true.
So, wake up call for the addicts. Now you're stuck with what you think you need. But I know what it actually is.
We couldn't live with our own failures, and where did that bring you? Back to Sky. Great.
At one point, it'll all be just Sky.
He's the only one who knows. Wow.
I don't have anything else after that. That gave me all I needed.
I'm good with that. I already have a ticket to Destiny, but I got to be there in person to see this play out.
Well, everyone should be there in person. That place should be
got to be there in person to see this play out.
Everyone should be there to see the violence. See what you talk about how it's what Sky is and it's what Sky's supposed to be. Then be there and witness it. And then when you're cheering for it and you realize just how bad it gets, then you realize just how addicted you actually are.
Yeah, I'm going to echo what everybody else has already said. If you haven't gotten your tickets, make sure you go get your tickets. Front row is sold out, but the Epic is so massive. You could be second row, third row, eighth row, and still be pretty close to the action. If I know Sky the way I know Sky, being in that building, in that kind of environment, yeah, no place is really safe.
None at all. Speaking of which, hold on. We have an appearance from someone in the chat that we haven't seen or heard from in months.
What?
That is the founder of House Sagan.
Oh no.
He's telling you to go see Galaxy movie, Mario Galaxy, Sky.
Oh, Dave. Dave. Stay where you are, Dave. That's all I can say. Stay where you are. Just stay there.
Oh, this is a crazy one. This is a crazy show. This is a crazy show. But that's all we got, Sky. I needed this one. I needed to hear exactly what I heard.
Good.
And as an MPX addict, I will say, following you as long as I've been following you, I don't hate where you are right now.
Okay.
I don't hate where you are right now.
I can appreciate that. But should you want me to be further?
Yes. Honestly speaking, yes.
It's the addict again, right? You're content with what you have.
No, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not. What I want is exactly what you're telling me is going to happen.
What an addict wants, they think they need. I appreciate that.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We will see you in 2 weeks, sir.
We'll see you then.
Pleasure.
and have mercy. They actually don't have mercy on the MPX roster. What am I asking for? Don't just be Sky.
All right. You want Sky, you'll get Sky.
All right. JJ?
I have no idea what's happening. This show needed to happen. It's appropriately named Eve of Destruction. If you're ready, we can jump into this card and break this madness down.
Let's do it. Sky, you want to hang on?
I'll let you guys get this.
All right. Have a good night, sir. Before we jump into that, let me just say, very few times do I get chills. I got chills that interview.
The fact that you could say you got chills, and in my brain I almost said and they're multiplying is scary. Yeah, there's so much going on. Did Dave say he hoped he went to go see Mario? I'm not
I
mad.
feel like this is high key your fault, Dave. I really do. This is high key Dave Sagan's fault.
Wait a minute, hold on. Before we go any further, out of all the shows that we've done together, you used to be pro Hal Sagan, and we never had a Dave Sagan appearance. And then all of a sudden, we get Dave Sagan here.
Listen. Step into the Sun, great. Loved it. Beachfront property, love it. But I feel like, because he alluded to it, Red Chambers and House Sagan kind of sent this whole thing in motion.
Oh, I can't wait for Destiny. I feel like there's going to be something happening. Like my brain is spiraling.
And now everyone's in trouble. Listen, MPX roster, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you extra. Everyone go to MPX Destiny and see Mario Galaxy movie. All right, okay. And look, Kim says she misses House Sagan. Listen, don't put that evil out in the air.
Oh,
don't put that evil out in the air. Capiche, Dave. We'll go see it. We'll go see it. But let's break this card down because this show is crazy. It's been a crazy one. All right, here we go. This week on MPX, Eve of Destruction. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into it. All right, Eve of Destruction this Saturday. Again, it is the final stop before we get to Destiny. He said, keep the past in the past. You're right. That brings up an interesting question. This is the first time we've actually heard from Dave Sagan in a long time. Could we be actually seeing Dave Sagan really soon?
You know what? I like you and I don't like you because of the fact that you asked that question. Now my brain is even more out of control because you got to think next week there is an MPX prospect title scramble match, and so far only 2 participants have been announced. So I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but you know, I don't know. Maybe.
It's a poll question.
Very bold question. Chat, let us know your thoughts.
Let us know. Will we be seeing
a Dave Sagan return soon? Well, there's the answer.
You will not.
Unless we're going to the Mario Galaxy movie.
I'll go watch it 10 times. Never mind. Let's jump into this show, man. Eve of Destruction this Saturday. The first match I want to talk about, it got announced, and I think as far as this prospect title goes, I would like to see both of these men chasing it. And that is Brother Kaimi, who's coming back after a short hiatus, taking on Levi Lucas. And Levi Lucas is someone that I've had my eye on for a minute, bro. And he's been in set 6. He made a little bit of noise in set 6, became tag team champions, him and LVJ. And it was rocking and rolling. We haven't seen him in a minute either. But I feel like if Destiny is coming up, this is a great match for both guys to stake their claim into something like the Prospect Championship. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I can agree with you. It's that time of the year where, like we talked about every show, everybody is chomping at the bit to get on that card. Like you said, we have not seen either one of these gentlemen in an MPX ring in a hot minute. So the first question I have for Levi Lucas is, what's your thoughts with everything going on with set 6? Jamie's out, JD running rampant. The group is, I won't say dysfunctional, but attitudes are at an all-time high across the board for everybody. And we haven't really seen you or Superset TJ Slater in the mix.
That's true.
So for Levi, I'm like, where's your head at? What's your thoughts? How are you feeling? Are you going to be able to focus? And then on the other hand, Brother Kaimi has been, tearing it up across the scene. Last time we saw or heard from Kaimi was around the time of MPX and ROH Global Wars. So, for Kaimi, you're always going to get a spectacle. We know that. It's interesting for me going in this match because I like both of these guys. Like you said, Levi Lucas is someone that if you didn't know, you want to put eyes on him and get eyes on him because he's really, really good. But I gotta lean with Kaimi. If we're doing predictions, I think Kaimi is gonna come in, that little chip on his shoulder, that momentum, ride the wave, no pun intended, to get to Destiny, to make a claim for himself. Because again, Kaimi is very familiar with the Epic, whether it's Revolver, whether it's MPX. Kaimi loves being in that venue, loves being in that atmosphere.
Yeah, you're right about that. For some reason, though, my brain is telling me Levi Lucas needs a win. And I think this would give him a good confidence boost going into Destiny. And I think him popping up is at the right time. And pop up, make a statement, beat someone like Kaimi. I think that would do wonders for him. I might side with Levi Lucas on this one.
I'm not mad at that. That's a bold claim. I'm not mad at that one at all.
Yeah, man. Something in me feels like this might be time for a Levi Lucas to rise up. And this is a testament to set 6, right? Look at the majority of set 6. Singles championship gold has been on the majority of the waist of that faction.
Right.
I think this may be Levi Lucas's time to rise up the ranks. He is more than capable. Outside of MPX, the man has had gold on his waist before. I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to take advantage of. You beat someone like Kaimi and you do it in a fashion that puts eyes on you. I can see him going places. I really could.
Not mad at that. I can sign off on that one. I won't be mad either way.
I won't be mad either, and that's no slight to Kaimi. I love him, but I something in me is like it may be Levi Lucas's time. We'll see. We'll definitely see.
For sure. And speaking of Kaimi, we talked about his run with MPX and RH Global Wars, which is another match that was announced that caught my eye. We've got a returning Phil Shark, fan favorite, addict favorite. Everybody loves Phil Shark.
Surf to the turf.
Yeah, surf to the turf, baby. You know how it goes. But Phil Shark is coming back, and boy, what a challenge in front of him, having to go one-on-one with D. Tommy Becker.
Yeah, and Tommy's off the addicts loss. And again, I will say Tommy with something to prove is very, very dangerous. Anytime we see him in that type of situation, he's very, very dangerous. I'm always going to say that about him. And I think the stakes this time around are just as high for him going into Destiny. I Oh, Phil Sharks, he's so good though, man. He's so good. He's so good. And you're right, that energy that he brings to the table, and then he feeds off the addicts. This is a low-key sleeper. This might be one of the matches of the night for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely gonna be match of the night. Like I said, I personally, when it was announced, I had this one circled. Phil Shark has been tearing it up literally everywhere he goes. But to your point, something that you touched on, because we witnessed this past weekend going down to HOT, the Tommy Becker, when the chips are down, when Tommy has something to prove, when it's a high pressure situation, Tommy turns on another gear. And it's dangerous because for someone like Phil Shark, who relies so much on that high flying, that fast paced aerial offense of his that he likes to utilize in the ring, if Tommy can slow him down, which we all know he loves him a good ankle lock, but if Tommy can slow that down, take a leg or two out from Phil Shark, oh, I don't like it. Similar to the Sky Cavens matchup last week, both of these, I don't like the collision course right now at this moment in time. It's gonna be a sleeper match of the night for sure. But I got the Tommy Becker taking the win. It pains me to say it, but I got the Tommy Becker.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Tommy. I'm gonna have to go Tommy for what you said. Him and HOT. Shout out to HOT. We'll talk about them in a minute. But what he did at HOT showed me that he still has that gear that he can tap into, and he's a menace, bro. He is a menace, straight up. And once he gets the ankle, I do fear for Phil Shark. I do. I'm gonna go Tommy on this one too.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a hard hitting match for sure. But speaking of hard hitting, the match that me and you talked about before we went on the air, because I got an interesting take on this one, if you will.
Okay,
Women's action.
let's go.
Reza Clark 1-on-1 with Hudson Envy, and oh man, this is another one of those. I love the matchup. I just don't like the timing because we were on this show as Reza was on the road to regaining her MPX Women's Championship, and we saw what happened because she was still putting on matches, and she took a match right before it was time for her big championship opportunity, and I feel like that kind of played a factor for her. And then on the opposite end, you've got Hudson Envy, who has been running roughshod through MPX. Before the American Joshi tournament was announced, a lot of people were like, hey, if Hudson Envy gets in that tournament, she can make a run.
Yeah.
She can make a run. Like, she had a lot of eyes on her. And I think because of the atmosphere, because of the women's division, how things are looking, a lot of people have their eyes not just on Priscilla Kelly in the MPX women's title anymore, but there's also the American Joshi Championship. So again, Hudson Envy, point to prove, chip on her shoulder. She's a killer when she's in the ring. But so is Reza. And for Reza, knowing that she has the title match next week, I've just got to wonder, is her mind going to be focused enough on the task at hand this week with Hudson Envy before she gets to Destiny at the Epic? So, I don't know where I'm leaning on this one, but I'm curious to know your thoughts on this match.
I'm pretty much copy and paste on that. And I think with the title match looming at Destiny for Reza, this is a bad matchup. It really is. And speaking of Hudson Envy, I was almost praying that she was in that tournament because I would have loved to see what Hudson Envy versus Charity King would have looked like. I was praying for that match. So you're right. With the American Joshi Championship on the horizon, there's ways for her to go about getting that. But if she gets a win over Reza Clark this weekend, she also has a very good claim at Reza Clark if she gets the job done at Destiny because she would have beaten her the week before. So I don't like this matchup. But Shout out to the homie Reza. Like, she don't duck smoke. She don't. And I don't know what it is with the set 6 guys. Y'all gotta stop Y'all stop not ducking smoke, man. Like, take the week off. Like, go light work before you jump into the big match. Y'all just like just diving off the deep end. Y'all be wanting to go all over the place. Like, y'all be taking these tough matchups. Why? Be smart. That's the fan of me. I'm sorry. I mean, I like that you're fighting champions. I do. I do like that you're fighting champions. But dog, man, give us a light week. Like, just give us an exhibition. Like, this is what I do. This is what I'm gonna do next weekend. I'm gonna dust this person off. No, it ain't no dusting this person off. Because now she's in a match with a hard hitter like Hudson Envy. This is no easy match. This is the hardest match you could possibly take before you go challenge the champion.
Right. And shout out Laura Pulver in the chat. Somebody booked that. I mean,
yes.
Who Runs the World 4 is on the horizon, and there has been that poll going out on all the MPX socials. Who would you like to see at the show? Matches you would like to see at the show? So, if y'all are listening,
Athena, please.
That's just one. That's just one.
Athena, well, Hudson Envy versus Charity King probably won't happen at Who Runs the World 4, because if you watch Who Runs the World 3, I'm pretty sure Charity King has cases that she's ready to put on Nyla Rose. So, but please, someone book that match because I would love to see it.
Absolutely, man. Neither one of us gave a prediction on this one, so we kind of in the same boat. It's hard to pick on this.
Yeah,
one.
I can't do that. I can't do that to either woman. That's may the best woman win. And on a night like this, any woman can be the best woman. So, yeah, no prediction on that. But here's something I do have a prediction on, because someone got booked for a match, and we know they ain't trying to wrestle. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Mr. Matthew Palmer. Matthew Palmer he is scheduled to take up a match with Mr. Alec Bullsdale. And chat, here's poll time. All right. So the poll question for tonight. Will Matthew Palmer actually be wrestling this Saturday? Type 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'm saying no. Look at that. And if he doesn't wrestle, what is his excuse? Does he pull a quad going into the ring again? Does he get held up in traffic on the way to the event center? What happens? Because I'm pretty sure he will find a way to not get into this match. Again, type 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'm automatically saying 2. Let me make sure this vote counts. 2 for no.
Oh. You know what? I guess I'll go with Kim on this one. I'm going to say 1. I think we do get Matthew Palmer in the flesh wrestling. But I will say this before I finish, my point for this week. Last time, and I don't know how many of you paid attention to this, the last time that Matthew Palmer was scheduled to face Alec Bullsdale and he injured himself going to the ring, what happened? Anybody remember?
We got was that Shane Taylor?
No, not Shane Taylor, but it was another big man. We got the debut of Von Titan.
Oh, that is correct.
That is where we got the debut of Von Titan. So I'm gonna go. I'll give y'all both ways. 1, Matthew Palmer does wrestle this weekend, and he does beat Alec Bullsdale because it's Matthew Palmer. Why the hell would he be booked to lose on his own show? Pretty sure that wouldn't happen. However, Two, if he does not wrestle, I think this is going to open up another debut or a return of some sorts for somebody because we know Palmer has many connections.
Yes.
And I could see, unfortunately for Alec Bullsdale, anytime you're on the card with Matthew Palmer, it's like you drew the short end of the stick.
This is correct. This is correct. So that actually opens up a good question. Who would it be if it's not Matthew Palmer wrestling?
Oh man. If you're asking me personally, especially based on what I saw last week, I would love to see Jaden Valentino accept the call. Shout out to you, Jaden. I was unfamiliar with your game. I didn't know about you. I knew of Devin Carter. I just didn't know about you. But last week, you opened up my eyes. And also, shout out to Brian Pulver for giving you the shout out on social media for me to be able to find you. Because once I saw you, I was like, yeah, this is cool. Seeing you in action, Jaden Valentino. Somebody you want to keep your eyes out on. So that's who I'm going to say.
You're going to say Jaden Valentino.
Shooting in the dark, Jaden Valentino.
Okay. I'm going to say Brick Savage. Why not? Why not?
Because the show is called Eve of Destruction. You're a madman.
I try. I do what I can.
Goodness. You know what? I like Nightmares and Nerdscapes in the chat. Another Matthew, perhaps. I don't know another Matthew off the top of my head, but I will say this: if Palmer doesn't wrestle
Matthew Andrews,
the choice, I'm not mad at that. You know what, Matthew Palmer, if you're watching, I know I've said it in the comments online already. If you don't wrestle this week, next week, Destiny, April 11th, Grand Prairie. It's the grandest prairie of them all. You've got a reputation for doing some big things in that venue. You and Abaddon, you and Lance Archer, just throwing that one out there.
Hey, whatever we get. Oh, Cedric.
Ooh.
I'm not mad at that either. But if you look at the poll, 75% of the fans are saying, nope, he ain't wrestling.
And to each their own, because a good amount of those twos came from the DFPN, so it was multiple of the same.
Hey.
It's fine.
75% is 75%.
I'll let it be. I will let it be.
Can't argue with the numbers ain't lying.
I mean, hey, Steiner math was real, but to each their own, right?
You're right. You're right. But if he does wrestle, I'm going with Palmer. You can't go wrong with Palmer. Unless something odd happens and Alec gets the win here. But
why not you?
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't have to say it now. You don't have to say it now. We put up a poll, and the MPX addicts don't think you're going to be actually wrestling.
I think you're going to wrestle.
He is the only one that thinks you're going to wrestle.
And Kim, hold on, give Kim a credit.
Oh yeah, you're right. And Kim, but no one else thinks you're actually going to wrestle. So, I know you put up your post. You said you're actually going to wrestle. Are you going to hold true to that, sir, and actually wrestle this weekend?
Matt, you can type 1 or 2 in the chat. You don't have to say anything crazy. A 1 or
I'm
2.
just saying, if we get a vote, because we know you don't want to. we know you don't want to. I mean, no pressure. It's no pressure. But we know. You said, you've been on record saying you don't want to wrestle. But if you're gonna, hey, I'll be happy.
I'm not mad at that at all. Yes, see, he hurt his ribs. Can we give him a break? It's okay. See,
You're right. You're
see,
right.
me and Palmer, we understand each other. And again, if you can't make it this week, there's always next week.
It's always
Destiny,
destiny. There's
the
always
grandest, the
destiny.
grandest prairie of them all. You've got a reputation for big things at the Epic. Just throwing it out there.
Hey, not mad at it. But since we're talking about Grand Prairie, we have a guy from Grand Prairie in a singles match, part of a tag team, and it looks like both members of that tag team are going to have singles matches before we get to the tag team title match at Destiny. Talking about Tatum Manning taking on one half of Most Wanted, Marcelo Fuego. Thoughts on this one? Well, let's talk about thoughts on the tag team rivalry at this point, and then thoughts on both him and Tatum and Exodus Prime versus Xavier Scott.
Oh, so we're just doing all right, fine.
Yeah, let's just lump it up.
Let's just dive right in. All right. For the tag team rivalry, I will say, ladies and gentlemen, and I want y'all to, hear me out on this one. I did call this when it comes down to Most Wanted. I know a lot of people are like, ugh, Most Wanted. Ugh, these guys. They have it, and they have shown it week in and week out. Whether you like them or not, they are cohesive. They know how to get the job done, and they are a solid tag team. I will say though, the jumping of Tatum. I don't know if that was a smart move.
I respect the move. And sorry, I said Xavier Scott. It's Xavier Gotti. My bad. My brain. But I respect the move. Honestly. And if you're gonna do it to the person who has exhibited the temper. I think that was a smart move because Tatum Manning does have a temper. Tatum Manning he's reactionary, right? And with that happening, I think it's an excellent move to get both guys out of their game, especially when the tag team of Tatum Manning and Exodus Prime don't have a lot of chemistry. I think that was a very smart move. That's just me, though.
I'm not gonna say I'm mad at it, but I'll kind of, because we've been doing this thing, especially when talking about the JD and Cavens in set 6 situation. The issue is, especially for Most Wanted, you provoke the bear of a guy who is going to be in his hometown. It's his backyard at Destiny. And Anybody who knows Tatum Manning should know one of two things. One, even though Tatum can be emotional at times, Tatum can still get the job done. And two, when Tatum is in his hometown in Grand Prairie, Texas, Tatum is not going to let the addicts down. It doesn't matter who he's taking on. For example, if you didn't know, a few years ago when MPX first stepped out of their doors to go to Grand Prairie to be at the Epic, Tatum Manning went one-on-one with former TNA superstar Trey Miguel at the time. And a lot of people will be like, you want a match and you were able to choose your destiny and that's who you choose? Yes. And it meant that much to Tatum. And anytime he was performing after that, Revolver, MPX, whatever it was, Tatum showed up and showed out for his hometown because he is a proud Grand Prairie native. So for Most Wanted, you're stepping into his backyard, which is dangerous because Tatum is a different animal. He's a different beast. And yes, we know Tatum and Exodus, they aren't the best of friends, but both of these guys have been in the game long enough to understand when we're champions, we got to do whatever it takes to keep these titles. And we also have the experience on our side. These two guys across from us, yes, they're up and coming. Every time Most Wanted has gotten close to the gold, they've dropped the ball, which is another reason why I felt that for Most Wanted, this is long overdue for them. I just think if Most Wanted would have played their cards a little smarter, wait until the week before Destiny to jump one of the tag team champions, or Or last week, we saw the war that Exodus Prime went through with LVJ. If you wanted to make a point, take out Exodus Prime, who was already in a defenseless state.
That's a good point.
But now you've got Tatum, and his moniker is Untamed. So Tatum is going to be livid going into this match. And this match this week, cool. If he loses, Tatum's not going to care. He just wants to get his hands on Most Wanted. But next week, when the titles are on the line, when it's in his hometown, it's going to be a different kid in Tatum.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can't argue against that at all.
But yeah, man. And then on the opposite side, though, Xavier Gotti, I'm curious to see how he's going to hold up with Exodus Prime, because like we touched on with X, you just went through a war to rep the DFW with LVJ in the Texas A qualifier last week. And with the set point, Exodus Prime is one of those guys that doesn't know what it means to take a day off. X is going to go get the job done anywhere somebody wants Exodus Prime, because he's that good. And I think the wear and tear, I think it could also play a factor in this matchup with Xavier Gotti, which for Gotti, I think this is going to be the first time we've seen him one-on-one with somebody where Marcelo isn't going to be across the corner to tag in when things start getting hot and they start getting into that deep water.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree with that too. And the dynamics change. X is a really good singles wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, predictions.
Oh, man. I'm going to say it's a 1-1 split. I don't know who's going to, but it's a 1-1 split, because I think both teams somehow, some way are gonna, like I said, even the score going into Destiny. If I had to choose, I'm gonna say Exodus Prime gets the job done over Xavier Gotti. And because we talked about it, the temper, because Tatum's not gonna be solely focused on winning a match, more of I want to get my hands on you. I think Marcelo is gonna play into that, and somehow that's gonna lead Marcelo to win over Tatum. Hate to say it, but I that's where I'm going.
The one area of both these singles matchups is that you have two former champions in singles competition against two people who focus primarily as a tag team. That doesn't bode well for Most Wanted. But you don't have to win this match to weaken the guy. And if it weaken both members of that tag team, going into Destiny is going to be really interesting, even if they lose these matches, because you have both members of a tag team with no chemistry at less than 100%.
Right. No, I can agree with that. Copy and paste that one too. And yeah, if Most Wanted is gonna play that tactical smart game, why not set the dominoes to fall in motion this week? It's not really about wins and losses, because the singles match doesn't matter. But yeah, if I can weaken them, tire them out, make them rethink working together, or if I can pit them against each other somehow and get into their heads before next week, yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, that part. So I personally, I got both Tatum and Exodus winning both matches.
Okay.
Right now. And that is just because both guys have been phenomenal singles competitors for a long time.
I'm not mad at that. And speaking of, I think this one's going to be the biggest match that we talk about, and I'm excited about this one too. It's a tag team match, and we've been on record talking about JD Griffey and his goons, his guys, his hired guns. Joe Angelo Garcia and LVJ teaming together to take on what seems to be a reunited and more focused than ever Brilliant Gems, Dylan Cavens, and Demo Diamond. And let me just go ahead and give this little disclaimer now. Shout out to HOT, because this past weekend we saw what a reunited, refocused, determined Brilliant Gems can do as they walked out of that building with the HOT tag team titles. So shout out to them. And yeah, going into Destiny, whoo-hoo, all four of these boys better buckle up. This is going to be
Bro.
a heavy hitting match.
Yes, it is, and I like the fact that LVJ's in this match, honestly, because that win that he got last week against Exodus, and now he's representing the DFW. I think that is an extra layer to him, and that's extra. It's not even pressure on him right now. I think he's having all the momentum in the world. And I think him and Joangelo Garcia in this match, it's dangerous, even against a reunited Brilliant Gems. And I was sitting right next to you. I that match that they had at HOT, they showed me something. They showed me a lot in that matchup. So I know what they're bringing to this matchup. The chemistry is insane between these two. And I'm curious what LVJ and Joangelo Garcia have as a tag team, because I think this is the first look that we're getting with them as a tag team, right? But the tutelage of JD Griffey, how much has it rubbed off on both guys, even against the Brilliant Gems? And you've seen the run that LVJ is currently on. That's tutelage from JD Griffey. That is game being executed. I'm curious to see what this tag team looks like, but I'm very, very excited for this matchup.
Yeah, man, I agree wholeheartedly. And shout out to LVJ. By the way, Kelvin, we missed you last week. We needed you front row to celebrate the crowning moment. I was there by myself, but it's all right.
You're right.
Me and LVJ are cool. I got my shirt on the way. I don't know what he's gonna say about you when he sees you next.
So on that note, I had to cover UFL, and I didn't think I was gonna be there that long, and I stayed there forever. So my bad.
Shout out to the Renegades.
I will make it up. But yeah, I was kind of bummed because I didn't get home to I didn't get home to intermission, and I had all this crap. So yeah, I mean, kind of bummed I missed that.
LVJ was the main event, but it's all right. It's fine. I'm not gonna.
I know.
Neither here nor there.
Whatever.
It's okay. It's fine. But LVJ, yeah, man, he's in a league of his own right now.
Yes,
and the other factor that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, but we need to talk about, the emotion side of it. Because if you saw the confrontation between Demo Diamond and Big J last week on Pauly P TV, both of those guys took some really deep personal jabs at each other that makes their cheerlead legal match next week at Destiny even more volatile. And now we've been on record talking about Cavens and the journey and the struggles, and we just had Sky on the show where Cavens couldn't walk out of the building last week because of what Sky did to him. So for both of these guys, you're gonna be 7 days away from your respective matches. Demo, you've got Big J. Cavens, you've got the MPX title with JD Griffey. But tonight, can these guys at Eve of Destruction put Destiny to the side, focus on the task at hand, and even if they do get emotional, can they fuel all of that pressure that they feel towards Joangelo Garcia and LVJ?
I think they can. Even with Destiny, because Destiny is a big night for both men. I think they can put that away, but you also bring up a good point too. And shout out to Kim. She had the comment about Big J. Would Big J show his hand in this match and try to interfere with it? Would JD? Because this is a perfect opportunity. Or would they trust their guys to go out there and get the job done?
I mean, either way it goes, because last week, LVJ, when he was coming out to the ring, Big J escorted him out, but LVJ said, hey, I got this. You can go to the back. I'm going to handle Exodus Prime on my own. And he did. So I don't even think it really matters. I think, like we've talked about, the tutelage of JD Griffey, these guys are going to have a game plan when they come in regardless. Yep. And no matter how they have to do it, where they have to do it, they're going to execute that game plan. And it's a scary situation because, again, when you look at the Brilliant Gems, and these are my boys, they know they're my boys. My girls last week at HOT all they could talk about was Demo and Cavens the whole night. So those are my boys for real. But going into this match, I don't like the cards. I don't like the emotion. I don't like the layout of this. Just because going into big moments at Destiny, you want to be 100%. And I feel like for either one of those guys, because we know they're on the card, Joangelo Garcia and LVJ, maybe, who knows? But for Demo and Cavens, if you're not 100% going into your respective match next week at Destiny, I don't like your odds. I do, but I don't.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I was comparing this, well, contrast. There's a contrast between this Destiny and last year's Destiny. Last year's Destiny, it was in the air. This year, it's, bro, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. And it's because, and I say this week in and week out, it's because of the path that JD Griffey has lied before you get to Destiny. Everything up until this point has been nonstop planning, nonstop calculation, led by JD Griffey. It's a reign of terror that no one's even acknowledging. But even this, you have two guys who were a phenomenal tag team getting back together, but it's JD Griffey's guys. And every week, it's been set up, you get through it. All right, set up, get through it. I don't have to hit you full force. And again, we're not seeing JD Griffey. He's chilling, preparing. And when it's time, he's going to get in the ring. So I didn't like it last week with Sky and Cavens. I don't like it this week with Joangelo Garcia and LVJ and the Brilliant Gems. I don't like it. But again, if anybody can get it done, it's these two guys.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on this one because again, these are my boys. I want to see them do big things. They're going to do big things. It's going to be a dogfight from start to finish, but I think they're gonna get it done. And I hope and pray that when they do get it done, guys, please keep your head on a swivel.
Please
get out of Dodge as soon as you can, because you're going to want to be at least 100% going into Destiny next week. And if again it starts getting shaky and dicey, Kelvin, you touched on this. It is okay to duck the smoke. Don't try to be big and bad. Don't try to just stand up and no. It is okay if you duck the smoke if things start getting chaotic.
Yes, that is the trap. Okay, that's the trap. Don't let them trap you. Get out of there. Save yourselves. You did your work. Go home, rest. That's it. Just go home and rest. But that is evil destruction, sir. 510 Harwood Road, Bedford, Texas. Get there. If you can't get there, MPX Wrestling, search it up on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, live stream. I've been loving these YouTube and Facebook streams, but I realized also that I missed the Twitch streams. So last weekend I did jump in on the Twitch stream and watch, and I was like, oh, I kind of missed it in here. So I was like, I gotta make sure I get back in here and do these. This is pretty awesome. So I found myself bouncing around the streams, just trying to react and talk to people. So yeah, that was pretty fun. But get there if you can, guys. If not, there's plenty of ways to watch it. But JJ, what do you got, sir?
Yeah, man. Final thoughts for the people. If you also haven't, make sure you go mpxwrestling.com. You want to get your tickets for Destiny next Saturday, April the 11th at the Epic in the grandest prairie of them all. There's so much to cover. We didn't even cover it in this show, but last week, for those of you that paid attention, the Stray Dog 50 caliber Barrett Brown issued an open challenge.
He
and
did.
I'm excited to see who is going to step up to the Stray Dog 250 caliber and accept that open challenge. It could be anybody. It's going to be crazy. You want to be there to see it all unfold. Not just that, the tag team title, every title, if I'm not mistaken, is on the line at Destiny. And every match, obviously, we're going to be here to cover it. We're going to break it down. We are working on the pre-show like we talked about. So stay tuned to No Gimmicks. We'll have more details on that for you all. And the last thing I got, because Kim is in the chat, and I remember from our interactions in the chat how much she loves Tatum Manning. So I figured, why not end the night on a good note for everybody?
Pay attention, Kim.
Our final guest, as we get ready to wrap up the road to Destiny, joining us next Thursday night is none other than the one, the only Grand Prairie's own, Untamed Tatum Manning is going to join the show.
Absolutely. And I can't wait. He's always been a good guest to No Gimmicks, so can't wait to have him back on. But guys, if you paid attention to Sky, Sky left an impression tonight. he left an impression tonight.
For sure.
Look at Kim. Yes. So tune in next week, Kim. And you will get to see Tatum Manning. You'll probably get to ask him a question. So who knows?
We might get a Dave Sagan appearance again. I don't know. Maybe I got to go watch the Super Mario Galaxy movie this weekend because that's been the hot topic lately.
I know he was really big on watching it, so maybe I need to go watch it. All right, man. Any last shots?
No, man. All I gotta say is, this is what we do. We enjoy it. We love it. Thank you all for hanging out with us, taking the time out of your evenings, watching the replays, leaving your comments. Absolutely. Make sure you're liking, sharing, tell a friend, tell a family member. You know where to find us. And again, shout out to HOT for having us this past weekend. Some huge things that they've got cooked up and working on down there. So yeah, you could see No Gimmicks, making some moves here soon.
We may have to do another day in the week for HOT. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it was a great show. Great show. So thank you guys, and thank you, MPX, for having us as well. Looking forward to the pre-show. It is going to be a phenomenal time. And thank you, addicts, for tuning in tonight. Thank you for being in the chat. It was awesome. And with that, I say that's it for us tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. You know what it is. Enjoy what you're going to enjoy. Take care of each other. Until next time, peace.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks.